one of the magnificent moments of World Cup experiences when Team New Zealand gets out there and throws down the haka.
I'm scared now.
And we have to wonder if Team Australia is a little bit worried having to face that down before the game even gets going. Tara, why don't we go through some roster reads and figure out who's actually playing in this 4-5 matchup?
Let's do it. Starting with Team Australia, 0-10, Giles, 10, Bisexual, 11, Lady Killer, 12, Amdal, 14, Christy Demons, 28, Muzerati, 4, Calamity Main, 41, Hargrave, 505, Mad Mel Arena, 50X, Frida Cox, 58, Dodge, 6, Shortstop, 8, Polly Crackers, 88, Tui Leon.
And from New Zealand, 04, Renee Brown, 11, Justine Saunders, sorry about that, people at home, 11-1 is Serious Crash, Unit 19, Miss Crunchball, 28, Alicia Nisbet Smith, 38, Evil Knievel, 4,000, Anna Paviova, 415, Hannah Jennings, 54, Lady Trample, 64, Jordan Leah Parore, 666, who is leading the haka, that's Tara Santana, BROIV9V, T34 Thank You, and V118 is Mackenzie. They're lined up on the start line. Green for Australia, white for New Zealand. Game underway. Tara Armov.
Number 54, Lady Trample, jamming for New Zealand in white. Number 505, Mad Mel Arena in green for Australia. Mad Mel being recycled to the back, and it is number 54, Lady Trample. Oh, she is being sent to the notorious RED penalty box already on a track cut. It is now a power jam advantage for Australia.
Tiny bit over exuberant, getting through on that outside track cut, sends her to that box, and again, not really well. You want to start off the jam thinking you're going to get lead jammer. Not having lead jammer now with Australia, Tara.
Mad Mel on her way around, another New Zealand blocker on her way to the notorious RED penalty box. This is what happens when I do 2 games in a row. I cannot talk.
Seems like you would know that penalty box, though.
Mad Mel being forced back, recycled to the back on her first scoring pass. New Zealand trying to hold a 3-wall. They reconstitute themselves at the front of the pack. They send Mad Mel out. She twirls around, makes it through. 5 points for Australia.
Yeah, no swing and a miss by Ferrari as Mad Mel Arena got out the front. The power jam is over. Lady Trample back on the track, trying to make her way through on her initial pass, knocked to the ground once again. And here comes Mad Mel Arena on another scoring pass.
Lady Trample going back to the notorious RED penalty box for another track cut. So the power jam continues for Australia.
Still about 30 seconds left in this jam, so still opportunity for Mad Mel Arena to put points on the board for Australia. Direction of gameplay to send number T34 to the notorious RED penalty box. Thank you.
I like to, the Australia, Mad Mel got hit out by one of the New Zealand blockers, and Mad Mel starts to call it off, and the refs are just staring at her like, oh, what are you going to do? Oh, you're calling it off. Okay.
Refs too excited to be reffing this game as well. Super excitement in the crowd. Stands are absolutely packed full of people, everybody cheering. Both of these squads have fantastic fan bases. Here, we've got sparkly dresses of the Roos on the sidelines. Jam underway. It's going to be number 6 shortstop taking the star, and still in the notorious RD penalty box is Lady Trample.
Shortstop has 1 to beat at the front. She makes it out. She does get lead jammer for Australia. New Zealand having their 3-wall at the front of the pack, bracing themselves. Shortstop going in between them. Gets through. That is 5 points for Australia on that pass. Again, Australia in green, New Zealand in white. Lady Trample back on the track, out on her initial pass.
Shortstop, of course, participated in the first Roller Derby World Cup back up in Toronto 2011. We're going to call that one off from the ground. Picks up 3 more points for Australia, now moving them up to 17. New Zealand remaining at 0. Australia in control early on in this game, lining up on the Fast Girl Skate start line is 0-1-0 Giles for Australia, and Ivy number Bro for New Zealand.
Bro. New Zealand doing the braced wall at the front of the pack. Australia with the back wall, opening up that inside line. 3rd lead jam in a row for Team Australia.
Ivy also getting on the pack, so gonna have to be careful, Giles will, as she comes into that pack, takes a nice outside line, spins around, gonna call it off, picks up 2 more points for Australia, now at 19-0, keeping the goose egg on the Kiwi side of the scoreboard, trying to book their way to the game against the U.S. Not gonna be an easy game, Tara.
And what is this, the Trans-Tasmanian rivalry? I think that's what it was, or something close to that. And I'm sure Twiddle will correct me
If it's
very
not
soon.
Trans-Tasmanian, you feel free to tweet us. It's okay. We'll fix it for you.
26 minutes in the first half of this game. We have number 14, Christy Demons for Australia, going up against number 38, Evil Knievel for New Zealand. Christy Demons out and lead jammer for Team Australia.
And Christy Demons, again, one of those standout jammers from Victorian Roller Derby League that we saw during the WFDDA playoffs, now doing the job for her country.
We have one of the blockers for Australia on her way to the penalty box. We'll see if that has any effect on the teamwork on the track right now. Evil Knievel making her way out of the pack for New Zealand on her initial pass. Christy Demons picking up 4 points, calling off the jam. That bumps Australia up to 28. New Zealand still to score with 25 minutes in the first half of this game.
4 jams, 4 lead jammer statuses for Australia. You know that they really want an opportunity to medal. They came in 4th in the Toronto World Cup back in 2011. They have their eyes set on some kind of medal to take home across the ocean. They have traveled a long way, but so has New Zealand. They don't want to leave it on the scoreboard either. 4,000's jamming. That's number Anna Paviova. And she's going to be the first lead jammer of the game for New Zealand. Mad Mel Arena still stuck in that pack, Tara.
Mad Mel facing a 4-wall in the front of New Zealand defenders. And again, the New Zealand, they've really locked down the bracing and just are incredible at it and putting it to good use. Looks like they're warmed up after today's earlier game against the Netherlands, which is the game that got them into this one. Mad Mel out of the pack, forcing the call off. New Zealand now on the board with 5 points to Australia's 28.
It's had a full-on natural Grand Slam, picks off the jammer point as well. New Zealand down by 23, but got to be pleased that the points are on the board. 23 minutes, 49 seconds remaining in the first half. They're going to send number 111, that is Serious Crash Unit, to the Fast Girls Skate start line. It is number 6, shortstop once again for Australia.
Australia with the back wall right on the Fast Girl Skates jammer line. Serious Crash Unit trying to push her way through. She's got 2 to beat. She's getting recycled back in, however. One of the Australian blockers on her way to the Notorious. That is Muserati, sitting in the Notorious RED penalty box. And now this is a power jam in favor of Australia. Serious Crash Unit being sent to the penalty box. Shortstop is out and lead jammer. And now number 19 for New Zealand, Miss Crunchbowl, also sitting in the Notorious RED penalty box.
Yeah, that was a multiplayer block that sent the jammer to the penalty box. 5 different jammers so far for New Zealand, trying to figure out which one is going to be able to do the trick against the Australian shortstop, due for another 5 points on this power jam as it continues.
New Zealand early on running into penalty trouble. We're going to have to see if they get their bearings back and start locking it down and scoring more points. Crash Unit back on the track for New Zealand. Shortstop taking the outside, getting a whip assist from her own team, picking up 5 more points.
Yeah, for a while there, Saunders was the only blocker on the track for New Zealand. Pretty tough to help your jammer and try to prevent the scoring from happening when you're the only one out there.
I suppose some people can do it, just not in this jam, apparently.
It ain't easy, people.
Shortstop through for another 5 points for Australia. Serious Crash Unit trying to get through that 3-wall at the front, and we see Bisexual out there bracing that wall. Crash Unit cannot crash through. That is another 5 points for shortstop and Team
After doing all that blocking on her own, she has to sit for 30 seconds. Shortstop's going to take an outside line to get another scoring pass as time runs out in the jam. We'll see how many, another 4 points. A huge jam for Australia, Tara.
They are now bumping themselves up to 57 points to New Zealand's 5:21 minutes, 18 seconds in the first half of this game. And for New Zealand, we see Mackenzie, number V118, a little behind Giles, 010 for Australia.
Wants to get up ahead of speed before she crashes into that back wall of green. 29-point jam on that last jam for shortstop. See what either jammer can do against these stalwart defenses in this jam, Tara.
Giles being sent to the notorious RED penalty box for a track cut. This is the first power jam for New Zealand. Mackenzie still working on her initial pass. She cannot get through the Australian defense. And now we see a high block being called. That is on Mackenzie. We're going to have revolving jammers back on the track. This is now a 2-minute jam.
That's right, it's going to be an exhausting jam. That is the 4th jammer penalty for New Zealand in this game. We're only 10 minutes into it. Going to have to find some calmness on their bench, I think. Need to reset still. Game's not out of hand, but you got to keep your jammers on the track.
I'm going to make a prediction that a timeout will be called very, very soon by Team New Zealand so they can recenter themselves and refocus. Giles through the pack on her initial pass for Australia.
That was Jennings with the last-ditch effort, unable to keep her in the pack.
And we all know Jennings from Rose City. She's kind of a big deal. Mackenzie back on the track, trying to get through the wall. She's trying to make them bridged, coming up against Tui Lion. I'll keep wanting to say Tui Lion, and I know that's not right. It's Tui Lion.
We've been told by the lady herself.
5 points being scored by Giles and Team Australia. Mackenzie out of the pack on her initial pass for New Zealand.
Should be able to stem the bleeding, but wait, it is a forearm to Giles. This is going to turn into a power jam. Not on this jam, no points going to get picked up by New Zealand, but it will be a full 30-second power jam at the start of the next jam. 64-5 is the score. That was a 7-point jam for Australia.
18 minutes, 45 seconds in the first half of this game. Lady Trample back on the jammer line for New Zealand. Australia building that back wall against the Fast Girl Skates jammer line. See if it's to any effect. Oh, Tui Lion. Oh, man, I'm going to hear about this later. She's trying to stop Lady Trample. Lady Trample gets by her, but there's still that braced 2 wall that she has to get through. One to beat in front. She's pushing hard. She makes it. She gets lead jammer for Team New Zealand.
Yeah, when that one blocker to beat is bisexual, you know you've got your work cut out for you. She's been an absolute monster all year long.
And yeah, she is just disgustingly effective.
Power jam is over. New Zealand is on their scoring pass. Initial pass still needs to be completed by Giles as she has to reset at the back of the pack, Tara.
And Harori holding back the Australian jammer there for a minute. However, Giles makes it out on her initial pass. 4 more points on that pass for New Zealand. That bumps them up to 9 against Australia's 64, 17 minutes, 23 seconds in the first half of this game.
Right at the end of that jam, Tui Lion picked up a track cut, so she'll be in the notorious RED penalty box. She's in there with her pivot. It is a 3-on-2 pack advantage for New Zealand on the cheese balls start line, apparently.
Oh,
and then there's Ivy Knivey and Christy Demons. You know, they are actually teammates on Victoria, so they might know a little bit about each other.
Might know how to play the game. Ivy Knivey trying to get through that last line of defense, but it is Christy Demons who is out and lead jammer for Team Australia.
Still stuck behind the two blockers of Australia, doing a great job of repeatedly recycling her. Now finally getting out. Race is on. 5 points already for Australia. Jam's going to get called off, Tara.
16 minutes, 26 seconds left in the first half of this game. New Zealand still at 9, Australia 69. Oh, it's only a 60-point differential. No biggie.
And when you consider the jammer penalties are 4-1 in favor of New Zealand, it's hard to say it's in favor of, considering it's not really in your favor to get jammer penalties.
Yeah, you don't really want to do that, so I hear.
Evo taking the star for New Zealand. That's once again Mad Mallarina for Australia.
Australia again building that back wall on the cheese ball start line. Mad Mel, trying for the apex jump, does not make it, gets recycled to the back of the pack. Evil Knievel just trying to push. She gets pushed to the inside. She's going to have to reset. She's resetting behind Tui Lion.
Tui Lion
Never going to get that name right.
You'll get it, don't worry. Tui Lion with a nice hip, forcing it to recycle one more time. But now it's Mad Mallarina having to come all the way back, right where she started from.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of clockwise. I guess this is Southern Hemisphere Derby going in this direction.
45 seconds into the jam. We've got a lead jammer. Both jammers out of the back now. Mad Mallarina has that privilege.
Mad Mel coming up, taking the outside, ducking around, picking up 2 points for Australia.
And 2 points for New Zealand. So even Steven on that one. 2 aside, 71-11 is the score. We should give some love to our sponsors. Do you want roller derby shirts from teams around the world? Join the Roller Derby Shirt Club today and feed your derby t-shirt habit at rollerderbyshirtclub.com. Roller derby people with roller derby shirt habits? I have no idea what they're talking about.
That is an outrage. Number 6, shortstop for Australia, going up against 4,000, Anna Pavuova. Pavuova in the front, facing a 4-wall of Australia, trying to juke her way around. And shortstop, a highly successful jammer, but she is getting stopped by New Zealand. Looks like New Zealand is beginning to, again, lock down those locked walls, those brace walls that they have gotten so good at in this tournament.
Yes, those southern crystalline defenses that we saw brought to North America this year, both of these squads employing them to great effect in this jam.
High block being called on one of the New Zealand blockers. That would be 04 Renee Brown.
Lead jammer has been awarded the shortstop. She's off to the races, back around the track, already in there, looking to pick up points. Only 2 blockers left for New Zealand. Doing a good job of holding her back, though, Tara.
Especially when one of them, again, Hannah Jennings, she was one of my favorite blockers to watch during playoffs and champs this year for the WFTDA, and you can see why she is quite amazing. She's buddying up with number 19, Miss Crunchbull.
Yeah, that's a nice pairing block up. Doing a great job of knocking to the ground. And we've got a forearm call on Miss Crunchbull. That's going to free shortstop, Tara.
She makes it out. That is 5 points for Australia.
Hard fought 5 points after 90 seconds into the jam.
Our first star pass in this game has just happened. It has been passed to number 11, Justine Saunders for New Zealand, and the jam gets called by shortstop as she picks up 2 more points for Australia. They're now at 78 to New Zealand's 11. 12 minutes, 33 seconds left in the first half of this game.
Yeah, shortstop had one final big hit from Renee Brown, number 04 from New Zealand. She was on the pavement looking up and deciding, you know, I don't need to get back into this. I'll take the points I got, call this thing off, reset the whole darn thing, take a seat on the bench and rest for a while. I don't blame her.
Don't need to be greedy. 0-10, Giles for Australia, going up against 54, Lady Trample. Lady Trample caught in the back, Giles out, and lead jammer for Australia.
Tui Lion back in the Taurus RD penalty box. She's going to have to be careful about those penalties if she wants to stay in the game for the full 60 minutes.
Another New Zealand blocker going to the notorious RD penalty box. That is number 64, Parore.
Lady Trample also out of the pack now, so this is likely the last scoring pass. Hands go to the hips, 2 points on the board for Australia.
New Zealand in a points drought with 11 to Australia's 85, 11 minutes, 33 seconds in the first half of this game. Lining up on the cheese ball bearings starter line, we have number Ivy Knivey up against number 14, Christy Demons for Australia. That's a very depleted pack.
It is. It's a little light out there. 3-on-2 pack advantage for New Zealand.
New Zealand taking the back wall, trying to stop Christy Demons. Demons gaining some momentum, ducking around Jennings. She makes it out. She gets lead out of the apex of turns 1 and 2.
Ivy looking to get her way out of the pack as well, but she is still stuck. One more to beat. Swing and a miss. She's off to the races.
Tui Lyon comes out of the penalty box, gives a little assist, helping Christy Demons pick up 4 points. She calls it off for Team Australia.
And it's not that New Zealand's really being beaten down in this game. They are able to get their jammers out on a regular basis. It's just that Australia's getting their jammers out first, getting that lead jammer status, able to call off the jams, control the flow of the game. If New Zealand can just find that trick of getting their jammer out just a little sooner, we may see the flow of this game switch around on the fast cheese balls jammer line.
So many jammer lines to keep track of.
Mackenzie and Mad Melorena.
Mackenzie facing a 3-wall at the front of the pack. Mad Mel facing 4 in the back. Lady Killer back on the track for Australia, giving the assist to Mad Mel. Mad Mel goes down in the back, having to reset. Neither jammer making it out of the pack so far. And the announcer curse kicks in again just as I say that.
It's like magic.
Mackenzie out and lead jammer for Team New Zealand.
Takes a wide angle through there, looking to pick her way through the pack. Recycling is Mad Melorena, still stuck at the pack, trying to pick up the points though. That's Mackenzie.
Mackenzie trying to take that inside line. She jukes around, and now it is a power jam in favor of New Zealand as Mad Mel reports to the notorious RED penalty box.
Going to be joined there by Freda Cox. Mackenzie knocked out of bounds that time by Calamity Mame. She's going to have to cycle back one more time. Calamity Mame picks up an elbow tear. Australia bleeding blockers on the track.
I knew this was going to be a passionate game. I didn't know there would be quite so many penalties this early. But hey, I guess it just makes things interesting. Mackenzie getting called out for a high block. She now is on her way to the penalty box.
Also on that, Tui Lyon picked up a multiplayer block, so once again, penalty trouble.
Mad Melorena through on her initial pass for Team Australia, coming up on the 3-wall of New Zealand. Bridging is happening. She's able to push them out one by one. She gets through. 5 points for Team Australia.
Time going to run out in that jam. New Zealand also picked up 5 points before losing their jammer to the penalty box. Thank you doing a really good job for New Zealand in that jam, both setting up Mad Melorena at the beginning and trying to hold her back at the end. Perhaps an understated blocker on this team, given that there are names that you might know better, but doing a great job in that jam. We get a timeout being called on the track.
Happening a little later than I predicted. Apparently my powers are a little off today, and I apologize for that. All of you in internet land.
We can't be all magic all the time.
Getting a view of the whiteboard. So, a bunch of people are going to the penalty box, but no one has more than 3. There's 1 skater on the New Zealand side with 3 penalties. So a wide. I guess it's nice that no one is in immediate penalty trouble.
Right.
Everyone's going to the box. It's like Oprah. You get a penalty, and you get a penalty, and you get a penalty. So,
and then I thought Tui Lyon was going there a little more often than she was. I only saw 2 trips on the box on the board, so she's got 5 to give. Plenty of time to be as aggressive as she wants to be out there. See on the scoreboard or on the monitor those Australian fans in their sparkly outfits. They've been cheering all weekend long.
I want to say thanks to some of our sponsors for sponsoring the 2014 Blood and Thunder Roller Derby World Cup. Thank you, Bruce Boutique. they want to sponsor your league, you can find them on the internet at brewsboutique.com, and your league can receive exclusive discounts and offers by becoming a sponsored league today. And they are the world's largest skate shop, so there.
Jam on the way, shortstop taking the star for Australia. It is a power start, but the power jam is over now. Mackenzie back out of the Victoria's RED penalty box.
Star pass by New Zealand. Mackenzie passing it off to the pivot. Shortstop through, getting lead for Australia.
Still took almost 30 seconds for shortstop to get through, so the New Zealand defense still holding strong.
Australians defense even stronger, though.
Oh, yes.
Despite the star pass, no one is getting through on the New Zealand side.
We're used to seeing that from this year. The Australian defense has been absolutely phenomenal.
They've definitely given a new feel and look to how blocking is accomplished, and New Zealand has dropped the star on the track. That means they are going to be without... Oh, no, they dropped the pivot. The pivot cover is on the track. Number 64, Perore, has the star, the jammer cover.
Yeah. And
So
she doesn't need the pivot cover anymore.
she doesn't, okay,
That's
because
right.
I remember it used to be you had to keep the pivot cover
Right.
if the star was passed to you.
Yeah, but under the new rules back in the beginning of this year, I shouldn't say new rules came out at the beginning of December, but the old new rules, as soon as you transferred it into the pivot's hand, the pivot becomes the jammer. So she's good.
She's still not out of the pack.
No, yeah.
But she's good on the penalty,
Right.
or lack of penalty, because there is no penalty for that. Shortstop having a tough time now as she faces a number 28 for New Zealand, Alicia Nisbet-Smith.
Tui Lyon trying to play some offense to get her through. They're successful in picking up another 5 points for Australia. Australia cresting the century mark now at 109 to New Zealand 16. 6 minutes remaining in the first half, Tara.
Lining up on the cheese ball bearing jammer line. Ivy Knivey for New Zealand. Again, New Zealand in white, Australia in green. 0-10 Giles for Australia.
3-on-2 pack advantage for New Zealand. See if they can make it work for them. Biception with a big hit on Ivy.
Yeah, shocking. Giles is out, and lead jammer for Team Australia comes across the two wall of New Zealand in the back, able to stay in bounds. She gets through. 5 points for Australia.
Both these squads have really been impressive this weekend, but Australia showing their dominance on the track so far in this first half.
Ivy Knivey through on her initial pass for New Zealand. Giles getting bumped out of bounds there, decides to call it off.
Why not call it off? We've got enough for now. Under 5 minutes remaining. 114 to 16 is the score. Australia keeping up on that 100-point lead. I know they'd like to have that going into the half. We should give some thanks to Derby Skins. Derby Skins look like a team both on and off the track. Derby Skins track jackets will help the world know who you are.
On the cheese ball bearing start line, it's number 54, Lady Trample for New Zealand. Number 14, Christy Demons for Australia. Christy Demons getting caught in the back behind a New Zealand 3-wall. And it is Lady Trample who gets out and gets lead jammer for Team New Zealand.
Now the question is, can she pick up any points? Christy Demons also out of the pack now.
Number T34, Tank You, coming out of the notorious RED penalty box, trying to give the assist. Lady Trample picking up 2 points for New Zealand at the end of that jam, bumping them up to 18 to Australia's 114. Just under 4 minutes left in the first half of this game.
The Kiwi fans will take it. They'll take their 2. Happy to see their skaters heading upward on the scoreboard. It's going to be number 4,000, Anna Pabiova, taking the star. And once again, Mad Mel Arena for Australia.
Mad Mel, one of the powerhouse jammers for the Victorian League, had injury earlier this year, has come back from it pretty strong from what I can tell.
Sure seems that way.
She has 2 to beat in the front, getting recycled to the back.
Let's go, babe!
More skaters going to the Notorious RED penalty box. We have quite the revolving door going on over there.
That's Perore and Calamity Maine hitting there now. High block's going to send Lady Killer to the box as well.
Anna Paviova looked like she was about to do a star stash. Still caught up in the pack. Mad Mel through, getting lead jammer for Team Australia.
40 seconds for her to get out. Solid defense by New Zealand. And a forearm. A forearm is going to send Anna Pavey over to the Notorious RED penalty box. Mad Mel Arena is now on a power jam.
I hear some of the crowd booing. They don't like that call. They say respectfully, I disagree with you, referees.
Are boos respectful?
Compared to what they could say,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. If Team Heckle was here.
Mad Mel Arena through for 5 points for Team Australia. Time runs out. Australia 124 to New Zealand's 18. 2 minutes left in the first half of this game, Captain Lou.
Yeah, that was a solid 10 spot put up by the skaters in green. We get ourselves a timeout. Official timeout as far as I can tell, or maybe not. No, they're going to go straight back into it. There's just everybody's just clustered around chatting. No, there we go.
Oh, they're messing with us now.
Oh, over anticipating I am.
Want to give more thanks to our sponsors. Thank you, Bruce Skate News, for being completely awesome. Stop throwing your skates in your smelly bag with your sweaty gear and your skates, because your skates hate that. It's gross. Keep them aired out and show them off with the original over-the-shoulder roller skate holder, Bruce Skate News. They have a Facebook page, a Twitter account, Instagram, Etsy, and you can check them out online at bruisedsn.com.
It's a full-on social media assault by Bruce Skate News. Gonna get the jam underway. 124 for Australia, 18 for New Zealand. Just under 2 minutes remaining in this half. Power start has shortstop taking the star for Australia.
She gets through and gets lead jammer coming out of turn one. Quickly coming up on the pack, goes around that back wall. Anna Paviova back on the track as well as a jammer for New Zealand. She gets caught up, gets knocked out on the straightaway, having to reset behind everybody. Shortstop stopped at the front. Pack is getting stretched way out. Shortstop makes it through. 5 points for Team Australia. Anna Paviova through on her initial pass for Team New Zealand. Nice apex jump by Shortstop. Shortstop then getting taken down. Hip block there at the very end.
Absolutely laid out by Thank You once again. Thank You making me look smart by laying bodies out on the track. Thank you, Thank You.
47 seconds left in the first half of this game. New Zealand with 18 points to Australia's 130. The whistles are being blown for some sort of timeout.
That's an official review for Australia.
And with that, we can thank more of our sponsors.
You certainly could.
S1 Helmets. Thank you, S1 Helmets, for supporting the 2014 Roller Derby World Cup. You can check them out online. They have original roller derby content on their exclusive YouTube channel at youtube.com/S1rollerderby.
So again, at stake in this game, if you win it, you've got a chance to go to the medal games. You do have to get through Team USA first to get a chance at the gold medal. But regardless, you get 2 shots at bringing home some hardware.
That's right, USA. That'll be a fun game to watch tomorrow, whoever wins this one. It's going to be delightfully brutal.
Team USA has been putting up some serious points this weekend. Yes, they really have.
Ironically, there's been one shutout that I know of, and it was not from Team USA, which I think is kind of a surprise to some people. That would be Sweden. It was
the cruel, cruel ladies from Sweden.
Against Japan.
Crushing the spirit of Japan, yes. Japan did win the hearts of a lot of people this weekend. They were pretty fantastic out on the track. Didn't come away with a victory, but again, one of the 30 teams at this World Cup. all sorts of different skill levels, but excitement from each and every one of them. It's been so much fun all weekend long.
And the vendor tables have been so busy. If you wanted a Team Japan shirt, good luck, because they kept selling out like crazy. Same with Italy, same with Mexico. It has been absolutely crazy. And we have a halftime score.
Speaking of those mean old Swedes.
Those mean old Swedes are getting a little bit of payback from the UK. The halftime score, England and Sweden, 135-37. Let's take that, Sweden. You and your shutouts.
Still, keeping within 98 points of the powerhouse in the UK, you know, Team England really, really wants a shot at gold. They didn't get a shot at it last time. They lost to Team Canada in that 2-3 matchup. Ended up having to take home the bronze. You know they want that opportunity, and
they have feelings about that.
And to get it, they'll have to go through Canada once again. So
no easy road.
Big games tomorrow, my friends. You do not want to miss a minute of the broadcast.
Oh, and after this game, there was still another game at 9 p.m. I don't think it was on the program.
No.
It's going to be South Africa versus the Netherlands.
Well, that sounds like fun.
It does sound like fun, and that is going to be on track 3. So be sure to tune in to that after this game.
If you want to read into your history books and see when the Dutch moved down into Africa, you can see that perhaps South Africa has some sort of relationship there.
Number 111 Serious Crash Unit jamming for New Zealand. And she is going up against Giles, number 010 for Australia. Serious Crash Unit stuck in the back behind a solid 3-wall of Australia. Giles getting recycled to the back herself, though she has been declared lead jammer for Australia.
That official review was just Australia asking for a review of the illegal engagement penalty they received in the previous jam. Call stands. They lose their official review. That's okay. No time left on the period clock anyways.
That was a scoreless jam.
It was. And we've got no time left on the clock, Tara.
That means the halftime score, New Zealand 18, Australia 130.
Pretty dominating performance by the Aussies, really coming out, showing that they really want to win this. I know New Zealand's been putting up a really strong fight up there. We've seen very similar defensive structures from both teams. Just the execution level a touch higher on the Australian side. That's allowing them to get their lead jammer statuses, allowing them to get the points up on the board, controlling the flow of this game. Halftime speeches have been known to turn teams around. It's 112 points. It's a long way to come back, but we'll have to see what Team New Zealand can do.
You never know what could